Manor Park Classics is primed for a fantastic first sale of 2025, hot on the heels of its expansion and acquisition of Barron's. The sale on the 14th and 15th of February might be on Valentine's Day, and that's the perfect excuse to treat the classic car enthusiast in your life, whether it's someone you know or yourself, and there's some great cars to do it with. Let's go have a look round. Now, as you can see, they are still setting up ahead of the auction. It's very, very busy around here, but there are some gorgeous cars all the way around to have a look at. For a start, to my left, one of the major highlights, 1976 Jaguar XJ6 Series 2. One of the more unloved Series XJs, but this one is a gorgeous example. Very rare colour known as green sand, and the mileage, albeit unverified, is 18,000. Remarkably low. It's got the 4.2 XK engine, which is the one you want, and despite the fact it's MOT exempt, it's got 12 months ticket on it, which is very reassuring. We love this. Beautiful little Fiat here, proper rarity, and you can see enthusiast owned, again, a good sign. Moving along, perfect car for all-round drop-top motoring, Mercedes CLK convertible. This one's got a lovely black leather interior. It's got the big AMG wheels on it. We're a big fan of that. Moving along, Daimler V8 250, one of the better Mark II Jaguar variants, and this one, wire wheels, manual overdrive gearbox. Very rare, but again, highly desirable. Then moving along, a Datsun 120A. When did you last see one of these? They've pretty much all rusted away except this one, and this is a beautiful example. We love that. And then moving along, one more Jaguar for you, a Mark 9. Look at the size of this thing, absolutely enormous, absolutely gorgeous, and I would say far more regal than anything the company is building these days. Anyway, let's go inside and see what else they've got. How about this little nugget for you? 1978 Mini 1275 GT, denim blue, fantastic colour on one of these, and quite rare these days with the gold pinstriping. The standout thing about this car is not only is it fresh from £3,000 worth of mechanical recommissioning, so it is ready to use and enjoy, but also it's had one owner from new. Absolutely incredible, and it is a lovely, lovely example. We like this. At a £10,000 to £12,000 guided, it could be a bit of a bargain in the world of classic minis. Talking of potential bargains, how about this? R107 350 SL. You know how much I love these, and this one, right-hand drive, it's gold outside, it's got the brown leather inside. It's an earlier car. You'll notice the single door mirror, you're sign of an early R107. We believe it includes the hardtop as well, and all barring the chrome wheel arches, which of course you can remove. That is a really tasteful car. We love that. But what if you're more a Jag man like Phil? What about this? Jaguar E-Type 4.2 Roadster, right-hand drive, manual. It's got a few bits and pieces, a little bit of patina in there, but you know what? I love that. I love an E-Type that's clearly been used, and this one, very reasonable guide on it. The Series 2 E-Types are generally better value than the Series 1s, while offering arguably a better driving experience, so I think that one could be a real hit. And talking of hits, we all love a Rover P6 here at Classics World. At 3500 here in yellow with the brown vinyl roof. It's clearly a bit of a recommissioning project. We've got a bit of bodywork to do, but the interior is mint. Unbelievably clean in there. We really, really like this, and P6 restoration can, if you buy wisely, be very fruitful indeed. And if it's a P6 V8 at all, it's going to be fruitful. This one I'm sorely tempted by. What about this couple of iconic British coupes? First up, you can't go wrong with an MGB, 1978 BGT in red, lovely example this. You'll note the chrome bumpers. It's also got refurbished Ross-style wheels, and you'll notice the lovely Webasto roof there. And guided at £5,000 to £6,000, that could be a real bargain. We love these. They are a year-round classic sports car, and for that kind of money, bit of a bargain. As could this be, potentially. 1965 Jaguar E-Type Series 1 fixed head with the 4.2 XK, the lower floor, a bit more powerful engine. This one's been subject to a nut and bolt restoration, and it does look lovely. Not absolutely perfect, but that means you can use it. The best E-Types are the ones that get driven. And guided at £45,000 to £50,000, in the world of E-Types, that's pretty good value. So that could well be one to watch, as could this, another blue British car for you. Very, very early Mini here. It's an Austin 7 badge one. It's not absolutely standard. It's got different 10-inch wheels on it. It looks superb, but crucially, it's got the sliding windows. It's got the external hinges. The blue leather interior in this is mint, and it's got a lovely little model of a Mini on the back seat there. Beautiful car this, and if you're into your early Minis, this is really tasteful, really classy, and potentially could be great value. Again, as could this. It's another Rover P6, and as you can see, it's a bit of a barn find project, this one, but one crucial detail you'll see here, 3500S. That's right, this is the V8 with the manual gearbox. An incredibly rare car, very sought after these days. We love these. Inside, it's clearly going to want a bit of titivation, but it's got the cloth trim that is in remarkably good condition. And again, with no reserve, this could be a very, very fruitful project. And if you end up buying it, please, please let me have a go. You know I love a Merc, and this 190e really caught my attention. It's a 1991 2-litre, but look at it. Absolutely immaculate white with a blue interior. You know I like Mercs in that colour combination. And this one was imported from Japan in 2019, hence its exemplary condition. Just 49,000 miles on the clock, and guided at £5,000 to £7,000, this could be the perfect classic daily driver. But if this isn't quite traditional classic enough for you, what about this? You know I love a Mark III Cortina as well. Ideally miss ours. 1971 1300L, so fairly low spec. spec, but what a lovely example. This had a really gentle restoration in the 1990s, so as much of it was kept original as possible, but it was just gently titivated and brought back up to snuff. And you know what? It still looks lovely today. It's had a rebuilt carburettor, new fuel pump, it's got some good tyres on it, but this is a totally usable and largely original Mark III. And what's more, given the way values are going, guided at 7,000 to 8,000 quid, I'd say this could be a really good example of how to get into a 70s Ford for fair money. Finally, just another classic that can offer a lot of fair money value, Rover 45. These get overlooked, but you know what? This is a lovely, lovely example. If you want an interesting modern classic you can use every single day, particularly at the money this is offered at, I think you cannot go wrong. Something quirky, interesting, and increasingly collectible, a very late Saab 9.3 Carlson, of course, one of the last examples before the company sadly went under. This is all-wheel drive, it's turbocharged, in immaculate condition. And those of you that are into Saabs and Swedish cars out there will appreciate quite how cool this is. And again, for a winter classic, I think this is a great shout. Two examples of 70s sports car icons here. 1972 Triumph TR6, original UK car, which means it's got the high-powered engine, it's right-hand drive, and some lovely bits and pieces on it. It's got freshly powder-coated wheels, includes a tonneau cover so you can drive it in the summer with the roof down nice and neat, and inside it's got the popular Mazda MX-5 seat conversion as well, so it's a really usable, practical example of a TR6 with a very reasonable estimate, so I think this is well worth a shout. But if you prefer a 70s sports car from Germany rather than from Britain, what about this? 1971 Porsche 914, the precursor to the Boxster, I suppose. And this is a Cali import car, which means it's incredibly solid, it's straight, it's in a lovely yellow, it's just had fresh sills in it as well, so it is rock solid underneath, and it's had the slightly troublesome EFI turned back to carbs, so it's more reliable, makes a lovely noise, and again, for the price it's guided at, around £10,000, could be a real deal. I love this. This is proper Porsche cool. But if you fancy something cool from the 90s, we love this. Subaru Impreza RB5 limited edition. This is a 1999 car, I believe, and it is absolutely straight as a die down there. Not a mark on it, totally immaculate as Subaru intended, and all the better for it. Moving along, if you fancy something grey, saloonish, but a bit more luxurious, Bentley Arnage. These are great value at the moment. If you're not quite into the modern day VW fare, this is one of the last of the old school traditional Bentleys. It's in lovely condition, this. And again, for the money, you're not going to get much more luxury. If you fancy something just a little bit more modern though, how about this? Turning a few heads, Jaguar XFR. So the successor to the S-Type, this one's the 5-litre supercharged 500 horsepower monster, this thing. And this particular example is in lovely nick because it hails from Japan, another Japanese import, low mileage, very reasonable guide price. And again, I think for the performance, the style and the luxury you get, this has got to be one of the best bargains out there right now. Volkswagen show is just over a month away, and this 1973 bay window T2 van would be the perfect vehicle to take to it in spectacular style. Totally immaculate and totally standard. No modified engine, no stupid paint job, no weird silly wheels on this. This is just as Volkswagen intended, and all the better for it. Guided at 8,000 to 9,000 quid, a great entry into air-cooled VW bus ownership. We're a big fan of pre-war cars here at Classics World, and this 1936 Austin 12 could be the perfect way to do so. Look at this two-tone, beautiful leather interior, really nice condition, and guided at 7,500 to 8,500 quid. It represents a lot of car for the money and a real load of charm for that as well. Moving down here, if you fancy something a bit sporty and a bit spicy, we've got another Italian exotic for you. Fiat X19. So this one is a bit more racy. You'll notice it's got a few stickers and bits and pieces on it. It's de-bumpered. I personally love that on X19s. Right-hand drive. It's a lovely car. This is great for a bit of weekend fun. You could hill climb it, you could track day it, and for the kind of guide price this has got, it could be spectacular value as well. If you fancy a bit of weekend fun times as well, what about that? Ex-military Land Rover. We love the camouflage paint job on it, love the nice bits and pieces on it. It's clearly got a history, and again, we love Land Rovers. We've got a couple of videos on the channel. Go and watch them to see how much fun these can be. They're not fast, but boy do they put a smile on your face. It's 50 years of the Lotus Esprit in 2025, and what better way to celebrate it than with this lovely late S, for example. It's the 2.2, not the V8, but that's no bad thing in our book because it is lovely. And all its fiberglass, Lotus, magnificent. We really like these. A great car and great value at the moment as well. These are a very much valuable vehicle right now. It's an earlier FJ generation Toyota Land Cruiser, and given all the tatty and modified examples that are out there, to find one, this is the two-door pickup truck version in such immaculate condition is a real rarity. We expect this to go for a pretty penny, but frankly, it deserves it. Moving along, again, a proper slice of old school classic luxury, another Bentley Arnage. This one's the T, 6.75 litre L Series V8, of course, the quilted leather interior. This is just beautiful, a lovely spec on this, and frankly, I wouldn't just complain at taking this anywhere, whether you take it to the shops or across Europe. Magnificent slice of traditional British luxury. At the auction at the NEC Classic Motor Show, I bid on a 996 Porsche 911. I didn't win it, but I might be able to redeem myself with this 2000 986 Boxster S. It's the full fat 3.2 with the manual gearbox, and it is a lovely example. Silver, nice and classy, immaculate bodywork. It's got the manual gearbox, lovely condition cloth roof, 32,000 miles on this bad boy, so it's hardly been used. It's ready for you to enjoy it and have fun with it, and it's got every MOT it has ever had included with it. So great history and a lovely example of what is arguably one of the best year-round roadsters you can buy. Guided at 7.5 to 8.5. It's higher end for a 986 Boxster, but I'd argue it's a higher end car. But if your Porsche is better off a little bit older, shall we say, what about this then? 1988 Porsche 911 Targa, but you'll notice it's got the whale tail off of the iconic 930 Turbo on the back. It's got the polished Fuchs alloy wheels, it's right-hand drive, it's got the pipe leather interior with a red steering wheel. It is stunning. If you grew up in the 1980s, this was probably on your bedroom wall, and to be honest, it was on mine as well. Guided at 60 to 65,000 pounds, you will not buy a cooler car for the money. And just very, very quickly, if you are into your bikes, you'll notice there's a small selection of them here at Manor Park as well. Very early Yamaha R1 there, totally standard, lovely example. Kawasaki ZX9, quite a rare bike these days, and a selection of Honda Fireblades that includes a Repsol one, a 50th anniversary one, and this, a newer one that commemorates John McGuinness's 100th Isle of Man TT start with a signature by the great man himself. If I had the space, this would be coming home with me. I love it. All right, let's go outside and do some more cars. First up outside, a tale of two Fiat 500s. First up, this one, an Abarth 595, a real rarity this one, and beautiful. It's got the original wheels, left-hand drive of course, it's got the Abarth steering wheel. This is a beauty, and for me this is far classier than any of the modern Abarths. I love it. But what if you fancy a Fiat 500 a little bit more green, and I mean it more than just in the literal sense, because around the back, not that lovely little air-cooled twin-cylinder, an electric conversion. This particular Fiat 500, a UK car, right-hand drive, has been converted to an EV powertrain, and I have to say, even though it's guided to make around £25,000, that is still far cheaper than a modern electric Fiat 500, and for me, infinitely cooler. I'm a big fan, but do let us know in the comments what you think of that and that. Moving along here, 1991 Citroen BX GTI, very, very rare example this we believe to be an ex-dealer demo car, so it's a really high spec, it's got leather, it's got aircon, and it is lovely, really, really tidy interior. And this, if you're a fan of hydropneumatic Citroens, is a real left field quirky option. It's got the same engine as a Peugeot 205 GTI, but with just a little bit more comfort, and for me, a bit more style. The late great Mr. Gandini, of course, styled this, and I think is as classy as ever. But if you want class, you need an S-Class. What about this? A W140. For many people, not just the best Mercedes S-Class, the best car ever made. And to be honest, it's hard to argue with that. This one, not the 320, no, the 500, the big V8. We just moved it around here to get it out into the sunshine, and we agreed that when it's running, you can hardly tell. It's like practically EV power, but no, a mighty V8 under the bonnet of this one. Grey leather interior, absolutely immaculate. All works perfectly in there. It's even got the staple little pillars that rise up at the back for you to reverse park this in the days before parking sensors, and it's lovely. This is just, honestly, as a Mercedes man, I'm finding it very hard not to bid on this baby. And if you're a Ford person, you might fancy this, a very nice Sierra XR4i, the kind of warm GT variant of the Sierra, not quite a Cosworth, but a lovely example nonetheless. And this one, a really, really tidy one. It hasn't got all the graphics around the back window, and that frankly makes it more practical, but it's got the whale tail, the double spoilers of course, it's got the pepper pots, it's got that Cologne V6 engine, and as fast Fords of this era go, this has surely got to be one of the more affordable options, and for me, one of the coolest. Love it. And finally, perhaps one of the greatest automotive would-you-rathers. Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9, complete with the biggest speedline wheels on it, absolutely beautiful condition and totally original. Or Mark II Golf GTI. This is the Type 19, it's the smaller bumper car. It's on some lovely comp-motive wheels, it's got semi-slicks, it's lowered. The interior is immaculate on this, and we don't think it's entirely standard. It's got a bit of a cheeky secret under the bonnet there. But whichever one you choose, whether it's one of these or something else, everything in the next Manor Park Classics auction is an absolute winner. So do go and have a look at their website for all the details of all the cars in the sale on the 14th and the 15th. And as ever, you can bid online, you can bid over the phone, or you can come down to their headquarters and bid in person. Of course, you can view the cars a few days before. And do let us know in the comments if you are going to bid, which one you fancy. I'm off for one more look at that Jag. See you later.